Radio Free Tatooine presents Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast.
Boshuda, fellow Holotable hustlers, you're tuned into Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast that's better than some and worse than others. I'm Sean, a.k.a. The Other Sean, and sitting across the Holotable from me is Josh, a.k.a. The Golden Pop-Tart.
So, I just want to start off by saying right now I believe my cat is feasting on something. I believe it's going to be her cat food, so if you can hear that, either you're welcome or I'm sorry, but it's just impeccable timing for Miss Willow.
It's just like work from home. Like, we just see cats. Cats are in meetings now. They're everywhere. Now they're in podcasts. Mine was down here all day with me today, so cats are always welcome as far as I'm concerned.
Agreed.
What's not always welcome is Galactic Challenge Omicron. We got some talking to do tonight, buddy.
We just had to say that right at the beginning because, yeah, it's real.
All right. So we have a few things to talk about. One is Gungan Phalanx, which the Omicron, that'll be a sub discussion. We'll talk about the kit as it is first. We also have a lot of Grand Arena to talk about, and I don't know if you guys heard, but I'm Kyber 1 now.
Ooh.
So I'm kind of an expert on Grand Arena, so that ought to be a really enlightening conversation. But first, as always, we got to celebrate a few blurf days. On the 12th, we have Darth Malak himself turning 5? What year is it? I don't even know. 5. Yeah, 5 years ago, 2019.
So that's also another anniversary pretty close for you too, right?
It's my dating anniversary with my wife is in April.
No. I remember, this is when he was out, we were working together, and you just became to the point where, like, I'm not going to play this game for a couple days.
Oh,
that was pretty close to right then.
You know what? It was, which, was when we were at Star Wars Celebration, too. And we saw Capital Games out there. It was during the event to unlock Malak. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, I didn't have the requirements, so I could try it on their iPads there. I was like, man, that's really hard. That is really, really hard. But it's not my concern right now. And then months later, rage. Yeah. So, Darth Malak. Every new character that comes out, we hate when they first come out because we can't beat them. Not every new character. Every amazing new character.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, right? Yeah.
Bo-Katan, the first time I fought her, I don't know if you saw that stream, but I was so salty.
Yes,
I was just like, this is stupid.
Heard.
No one likes this. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But if you use the right teams, the problem with Malak was when he came out, there was no right team. He was unstoppable. So, happy Blurf Day, you jerk. On the 13th, we've got a double Blurf Day from 2017. So 7 years ago, Ghost and Phantom 2 were released.
Wow.
That's kind of crazy. And you know what? I never really thought about this. And I don't know. I feel like there should be like some synergy with the two of them where Ghost can fly in and then next turn it releases Phantom as another ship or something. But now that I think about it, Phantom comes in and then reduces the cooldown on bringing in another reinforcement. So it's a similar end result. And I wonder if that was intentional. I don't remember. I don't remember how they sold that ability, what it was supposed to represent. But just the meanderings of a crazy old Galaxy of Heroes hermit.
I mean, I wouldn't mind them like coming together like a Power Rangers droid. I mean, I don't mind.
Yeah.
I mean,
power up attack.
all of a sudden it's just right.
I like it.
I mean, they kind of do that in Marvel Strike Force. I mean, they work together with teamwork type stuff.
Exactly. Then the only other one we have is on the 15th, Tech. 3 years ago, and I'll just say it again. I say it every week. I still haven't watched this second season of Bad Batch. You know what? Let's run this train right off the tracks for a second. Did you see that trailer for Tales of the Empire?
Yes, I did.
Oh my God.
Outstanding.
That's going to be... Tales of the Jedi was good.
Oh.
But this is like... The thing is, like... Tales of the Jedi, you knew that Dooku was Qui-Gon's apprentice. So it was just interesting to see them, how they interacted and stuff. And some of Ahsoka's backstory. Like, that stuff was interesting, but it wasn't mind-blowing. This is like... Just watching the trailer, you're like, oh, that all happened? What? You know? It's exciting. Exciting stuff. Okay, back on course. What do we got? We should talk events. We should take a look at this week's upcoming in-game events, courtesy of swgohevents.com. For a complete list of past, present, and future events, swgohevents.com is a universe of info in a galaxy of heroes. Coming up on the 12th, it's a busy day. Busy day. We got a credit heist. We got a new Galactic challenge. Don't worry, it's not Gungans. This is against rebels. And you have bonuses for resistance. And then we also have a Omega battle on Hoth. On the 13th, arguably more busy, you've got military might. That's an assault battle, so that'll keep you busy for a second. Fleet mastery for endurance. Can't sim those. That'll keep you busy longer. And a daring droid mythic event. 14th brings us training droid smuggling. I'm going to throw a party.
I know, right?
On the 15th, we'll have an Omega battle on Dathomir, as well as another Galactic challenge. We don't know what it is just yet. And then a journey guide fleet mastery for Executor, the Discarded Doctrine. Oh, and that's when territory battle starts. Whew. Okay. It's going to be a busy one. The 16th, literally nothing happens. Take the day off.
Yeah.
Check in with the kids. See how they're doing. On the 17th, we have another Assault Battle Rebel Roundup. And then the 18th brings us Endor Escalation. Heroic. So
are we Conquest? I mean, is that... Are we thinking another week or two?
I think we have another... week, don't we? Oh, God. Now I'm terrified.
That's when I was wondering if it would, like...
I don't want another conquest just yet. Oh, my God! 4 days as we record. So... Yeah. It's a Conquest Monday.
Yeah. It is. That's where, like, when I started looking at that, I'm like, oh, well, that's why, because...
You know what? That
you're going to have territory battles, then go right into Conquest.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yep. That's
we're doing a new strategy for TB, and it's like, when you wring out a wet cloth and you get every piece of water out of it. That's what it feels like right now that we're trying to do, but
yeah,
we're trying.
Except instead of a cloth, it's a stone.
Yes. Or I feel like the cloth. I mean, towel.
Towelly. All right. Before we dive into the top story, quick shout out for our Patreon supporters. If you enjoy what we do and want to be a part of our exclusive community, head over to patreon.com/Galactic War Report and give us your hard-earned money. Your support makes this podcast possible, and you get access to the VIP section of our Discord server for some behind-the-scenes banter. Now then, punch it, Pop-Tart.
All right, so why don't we start with the itty-bitty news first here. We're not top, we're not bottom, we're down at the bottom here.
Just but teeny stuff.
There you go. So first off, we have another update here. Allowed a little bit of changes. First off, Marin, if you are ready to get your Night Sisters ready to go, or Jedi Cal, Marin is now accelerated. So kind of feels like she's been in this game for longer than a year, though.
I kind of agree. Yeah.
It's different. So yeah. And then on the other side of it, Stap now is a Cantina farm, which for some reason I was thinking that was a little early too. So like I don't know what, it must have been the eclipse or something, but my brain is not, the time and everything isn't warping to the right spot. But
yeah. I didn't realize that was Cantina.
Yeah. Now the interesting part though, Night Sister Spirit, you are no longer going to end up going to that Cantina spot. You're going over to Galactic War. So
the shop.
Yes,
the Galactic War shop. The first new character since K2SO?
Man,
I think.
It's just kind of interesting. All I know is I only wanted zombie, and I was always getting spirit, so I was fine. You just do that Night Sisters event, and you do that a couple times, and you'll get it.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the big news there. We made it through, April Fool's Day, and all that fun shenanigans as well. So, but the nice part is we are inching closer to our Jar Jar. I say our. I'm excited. I'm super excited. So, but it's kind of interesting. First, is now that we have this tank, and how do you say his name actually?
Gungan Phalanx.
Phalanx. Okay, I'm gonna butcher that until the end of the days. But yeah, why don't we dive into the kit?
Yeah, let's take a look. I was scrolling away because I just went and simmed a bunch of Cantina stuff to get my stat. I pay attention.
Subliminal messages right there. You were just like, I saw Cantina and you had to.
I had to. I literally, I have my emulator pulled up. I'm like, I might as well use this before I forget, because I forget a lot of things. All right, Gungan Phalanx. He's the take, as we mentioned. Honestly, as much as I have struggled with the names of abilities of these guys, I kind of love all three of the ability names on here. It's not like Misa gonna throw bombs. It's not painful to say like that stuff is. He's got Fierce Poke, which honestly could be Kylo Ren's move.
True.
Yeah, Supreme Leader. He's got Heyo, watch out. It's a good thing to say. He's a good guy.
Yeah, right.
And then he's got Raise the Shield. I love raising the shield. It's great.
I know.
It's great. All right. Really not that bad of a kit to read over, but golly, when we get to the end, there's a twist.
I know.
There's a twist.
There's a twist, all right.
It's a good one. All right. His basic is Fierce Poke. And it's deal physical damage to the target enemy and inflict defense down for 1 turn. If the target enemy already had defense down, apply daze for 1 turn. Whenever Phalanx attacks an enemy out of turn, the weakest Gungan ally gains 3 stacks of protection over time for 2 turns. There's all that protection yet again. Special one is called Heyo, watch out. It's pretty cool. It's what my D&D character did in my last campaign. You just run in and bash stuff with your shield.
There you go.
Physical damage. Deal physical damage to all enemies and inflict tenacity down on them for 2 turns. If the enemies were separatist, also inflict provoked for 2 turns, which can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted. Phalanx taunts for 1 turn. If Phalanx was already taunting, he recovers 20% protection. Cool. And then special ability is Raised a Shield. He takes his weapon, sticks it in the ground, puts the shield up. It looks really cool. I like it.
It does. It's a very good animation.
Final text here. Dispel all debuffs on himself and deal physical damage to target enemy. Deal an additional instance of damage equal to 10% of his max protection. Inflict vulnerable on all separatist enemies for 2 turns, which can't be copied, dispelled, evaded, resisted, told to go away. Gungan allies gain shield up 25% for 2 turns, and Phalanx gains retaliate for 2 turns, which can't be copied. Now, shield up is a new concept for this game. It's a lot like protection up, but it's calculated differently. So it's gain a shield based on max protection, whereas if you get bonus protection, it's normally based off of that character's max health. Since Gungans have garbage health, it's all the trans fats that they eat.
It is, right? Yeah.
But they have garbage health, but big protection. So if you did normal bonus protection, it would just be meaningless. So they created a new way to base it off of their regular protection, which honestly kind of, I don't know, in a way makes more sense anyways. But
yeah,
he does also have a unique. You may have heard some talk about it. It's super handy. At the start of battle, Phalanx loses 75% max health and gains that much as max protection. Cool. Whenever Phalanx is not damaged by an enemy on the next other ally Gungan's turn. Now let's take just a second to clarify that. Whenever Phalanx is not damaged by an enemy, meaning whenever an enemy takes a turn and does not damage Phalanx, is the... It's worded super confusing there, but that's what it means. On the next other ally Gungan's turn, that ally gains potency up for 1 turn. Phalanx will assist and remove 8 stacks of recharge from the ally's shield generator. If the ally's shield generator loses 2 or more stacks of plasma shielding in a single turn, Phalanx taunts for 1 turn. Whenever Phalanx uses an ability while taunting, he gains 2% max protection, stacking for the rest of the encounter. And whenever the ally shield generator is destroyed, Phalanx recovers 50% protection. And Gungan allies dispel all debuffs on themselves. If there's an active ally shield generator, Gungan allies are immune to protection disruption, which is a status that only, I think, only Scion of Django inflicts. I think he's the only one that actually does protection disruption. Whenever Phalanx assists another Gungan ally, that ally receives foresight for 1 turn. And this is so cool, you guys. This is so cool. While in Galactic challenges...
Wow.
Should I even read it? Who cares?
Yeah, you have to, though.
Who cares what it does in Galactic challenges? Get out of here.
I mean, at least, yeah. I mean, we obviously have a bit after this. We're definitely going to talk about this, but we have to hear it.
Right,
so that way we know.
Here's what you're... That's a good point. That's a good point. I should read this so that you hear it, because you're never going to experience it. Correct. You're never going to see it in action. You're not going to see it on my Twitch stream. That's not going to be happening. At the start of the first turn, the ally shield generator gains 10 stacks of plasma shielding. Enemies can't assist if they are targeting Phalanx. At the start of the encounter and whenever an enemy is defeated, all Gungan allies gain 100% evasion for 1 turn. Whenever a Gungan ally uses a special... For the next 2 turns, all Gungan allies have plus 50% offense, and their basic abilities expose the target enemy for 1 turn. Whenever a Gungan ally inflicts defense down, all Gungan allies gain offense up for 1 turn. Whenever any Gungan ally attacks out of turn, they remove 20% turn meter from the target enemy. Thoughts?
I mean, there's a lot of them. And
a couple.
I could probably talk for an extra 5 minutes and just, have to talk another 5 minutes about it, because I could just go on. I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is just when I think about, obviously, like in this case, when you look at exactly what they made and how they decided to do this, 100% decided to do this. And then when you read it, it's not even something I want to do or think it's going to help me at all. So I just don't.
Right.
Man.
Hey, so... I think we got a couple things to address here. One, we got to rewind a minute. And didn't they just have like a survey about this?
They did, actually, yes.
They asked us if we wanted, like, how we felt about Conquest Omicrons. And community, I am sorry. I did not take the survey.
Ooh.
I didn't, mean to not take it. I just didn't. I saw it and I was like, oh, yeah. Sometimes I do those. Sometimes I kind of forget. Whatever. I didn't take the survey. I didn't let them know how much I don't want a Conquest Omicron. And to their credit, they didn't give us a Conquest Omicron. So I assume that you all kind of relayed that. I know how I feel about it. And I have been on swgoh.gg. I have looked at the Omicron report. I know how you all feel about it. It's not popular. No one wants that. And with Sortie, her Omicron is okay. I shouldn't say it's okay. It's good. It is. It is a good Omicron for Conquest. It is helpful. It's powerful. It turns her into a real contender for a mode that you can use her 10 times and then she literally cannot be used until the next day. And I mean, 10's not nothing, but she's going to run out of steam before 10. Mm-hmm. But my point is, it's limited viability. No one wants it. So in response to that, we got something that it's not like you use it 10 times. You use it once.
Yes.
A week.
Yes.
At best. Well, at best.
Oh,
I
at best,
suppose
yeah.
it would be twice a week because there are 2 Galactic Galactic challenges every week.
But unless they decide to utilize every single one with Gungans, I mean, if all the additional feats, if this is the only thing it does is help you win just to get that one mark, agreed. It doesn't make
and it doesn't even
sense.
Get you anything meaningful because, we all have this philosophy of Galactic challenges. Like, if it's too hard, you get your 2 Omicron mats and you go home. And that's fine. And there's other stuff between 8 and 10. There's slicing materials, I think. But it's about the Omicrons. If you can get the 2 Omicrons, you're good.
Yeah.
So I think one of the fears that I've seen online is, are Galactic challenges going to be literally impossible now?
Yeah.
Without this.
That's a worry.
And I doubt it. I tend to doubt it. I mean, yeah. I just don't see it. I don't think that's going to be the case.
I hope not. I hope not. It's not like they're crazy easy now. Some of them are. If it's going to be Galactic Republic, I'm going to get red. Ships ones, not as much. They're just not that fun to me, to be honest. But you do what you got to do with them. And every now and then, like when the Ewoks one came and you have to beat them with, or the Jawas and you have to beat it with Ewoks, right? That's a challenge, right? But if I don't have to do it, I have to get my 2 and then I move on,
And so think of it this way. Even if they make these things near unbeatable without this Omicron, and you have to settle for just 1 Omicron, that stinks. That stinks. But you would have to be unable to get your second Omicron 20 times before this would 21 times before it would be worth it. Because then you have finally gotten 1 Omicron out of the deal after sinking 20 into this. It blows my mind. And it's a Gungan, so there's a chance that this is just done kind of for funsies, because look how ridiculous this is. The Gungans are silly. So maybe we're kind of making a big deal out of nothing. Maybe it's really the story. The angle is this guy doesn't have an Omicron. He just doesn't, There's no one's going to apply it. It's like he just plain doesn't have one. So just don't even worry about it.
I mean, it's the, glass half full mindset. This is a whimsy. This is just something to throw out there because you can. And that, I mean, I think the people that love the Gungans. And there's people that hate Gungans, right? So, I mean, if this is just kind of throwing that out there, I get that. I think a lot of us are just more on the other side where you're a little bit like, someone thinks this is a good idea. Like someone's right now like, okay, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to take this Omicron, which is very, very much the most, material thing that you need right now in this game. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to give it to the Gungans for galactic challenges. And
round of applause.
Right.
Please clap.
And we're not going to make it to where it's just like God level Omicron. We're going to make it okay. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I
think I just like talked myself from like befuddled into a little bit angry into like really just at peace with it. Like I'm just never going to do this.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I have other Omicrons that I like, when you're saving your Omicrons and this spicy new character comes out and you're like, ooh, maybe I'll do that though. I don't feel that.
Yeah, like
there's no temptation.
I guess thank you. You're not going to pull me away from the ones I haven't given to the people that matter. Still, I mean,
Starkiller over there looking at me like, can I get that other Omicron? You going to do that? And I'm like, maybe.
I mean, this one to me reminds me a lot of just like, hey, bad press is good press, type of thing. Mm-hmm. Like, at least, hey, we're talking about it. I mean, there's going to be how many people that are talking about this, and if somebody does it, imagine how much talking you're going to be talking about the person that put it on there.
I'm going to hop on Survey Monkey and send out a survey seeing how people feel about Conquest. Or Galactic Challenge Omicrons.
There you go. Then just send them the data.
Yeah. Yes.
And just with you're welcome.
I don't know how your other one ended up, but here's what we got on Galactic Challenges. Just FYI.
Maybe there was like a special button you got to press that unlocked like a, one of the, ad at the bottom, which one you want. And they're just like a million people that play this game that just wrote in, Galactic Challenges.
Yeah, but maybe we're just in our little bubble. Maybe everybody loves it.
Yeah, right.
And our little bubble of like, us and all of Reddit and all of the forums are just so isolated from the player base.
We just don't understand.
Oh, man. Man. All right, let's move on.
We got to move on there, sir.
Beat that dead Gungan enough. Let's do a Grand Arena breakdown here. Win or lose, we are here to dissect our week in GAC. If you want a front row seat to the action next time, catch us live on Twitch at twitch.tv/theothersean and twitch.tv/thegoldenpoptart with a 1 in place of the L. Join the chat, cheer us on, and watch the chaos unfold. Are you ready? Neither are we. Let's do this. How was your last round? And what's this matchup look like?
Wow. Well, let's go through first. And I remember saying I was in Kyber 2 and feeling pretty confident in Kyber 2. The nice part is I can take a couple losses and I'm not back down to, 3 at the moment here. So, really did well in the last one. So this time around, I was thinking, let's see what we can do. Now, obviously, it's a better group of individuals. So I started off with a loss. I felt like it was a pretty good one.
Does.
But I mean, really, honestly, it was more a little bit of dumb moves a couple times on me and just maybe making the wrong decisions. But all I had to do was basically go through and beat one team, and I would have beat them. And I couldn't beat them. And you'll see why here in a moment. Man. So there was a loss, and it's like Komitajai, maybe?
Komitaji.
There you go, right?
Komitaji.
Yeah, so in some of the goods here, I just love using Bane. He is just unbelievably awesome. I use him in Darth Revan against Leia, and it feels so good. It just feels right. And then the Sidious Kron, man, Star Killer, just don't put him on defense anymore. I mean, Mr. Sid is just taking it out easily. And so Ray has been in kind of a pain, but one thing that's working really well for me is Seer, Star Killer, and Malicos. I can kind of easily get through Ray now, even with both Datacrons there. So, so it's kind of nice. Now on defense, I'm throwing a little bit of that in there for the good right now, but my Ray actually held against their Imperial Trooper, which is kind of weird. Like, Imperials there. And then I don't even know why they would do that, but then Reva, a Bounty Hunter, a Maul, and another Bounty Hunter 2 team. So she got some holds and they couldn't beat her. So basically they stalled out. And then my TO, which again is the Oppress and Treya, held against Jedi Training Rey, Inquisitors, and Mace Windu. So that was kind of nice. So really, all I had to do was beat one team: Bastila, Jedi Master Luke, and Watt.
Oh, that's a thick team, though. Thick. With 11 Cs.
Yes, right. And so, 11 battles, and I couldn't beat it. I just couldn't beat it. And I'm like, I just tried to chip away, so it ended up just being Jedi Master Luke in the end. And I'm like, all right, here we go. We're doing this. And man, there's a couple times I got them in red, and then they came back, and it was painful. So ended up, all I need to do is beat that team, and I would have made it to where I need to go. But I ended up at 768 to a whopping 1,094. So it was not a battle of of strong men there. It was something else.
Fighting in the dark.
Oh yeah. So, and then round 2, this was actually against Norsosaurus Rex. I
love it.
I do too. This got back on track. So to get a win on this one, again, Sidious versus Star Killer is a lot of fun. It's easy. I just love watching them just disappear. Bane, again, it's just so much fun with Leia. And then same thing for Rey, using the Malicos there just makes it so much easier. Kind of bad pieces to it. Like I did really well. It was kind of a little bit lighter of a D. I ended up having to do 2-shot Executor and 2-shot Profundity. But still,
oh man,
we made it work. I ended up getting 1996. Not a bad year. Or Olympics, right? I think it was the same Olympics. To a whopping 68. So I always consider those 68s when they first come in. I could have beat you. I just didn't have time. So appreciate that, Norsosaurus Rex. So going to round 3 here. I mean, this was a tough one. I automatically pulled up I think basically at 5:00 when ours goes through. Within an hour, he already had 2,056 points against me. And I'm thinking, wow. Man. And again,
2056 is efficient.
That's a whooping, right?
That's a whooping. That's about as good as the score gets.
And again, this is with the same teams that that people couldn't beat my Ray. Had a hard time with my TO. Getting multiple from holds, and it just, that's a whooping. And so I knew going into that one, I'm like, all right, I'm going to do a little bit of research. I'm going to really do everything that I can to go through, and CLS tripped me up.
Oh man.
And it was gas versus CLS. And I went to GG and it basically said, you have to be an idiot to lose this. And we found our idiot. So,
yeah. I got a story to tell that's going to reverberate some of that sentiment.
So, the good on that one, again, a lot of the same stuff. Malicos versus Rey is really helpful. Bane, again, was great. Sidious is just a wonderful Datacron. I was a little bit worried. I'm a little bit worried about, Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. That's a beast. I don't see that team very often. Now that I'm getting a little bit higher up, I see it more often. Yeah. I Jabbaed it. I didn't want to mess with it. And based on looking at GG, even Jabba wasn't 100%. So, but that worked out. A little bit of mirror matches in here too, which is kind of fun. But Kenobi did to get the high ground again because last time he lost. And I think that Dash with Han and Chewie is just an easy, fun team. And usually what happens if I see a Dash team, I just throw my Dash against it. And like, you're just going to win. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously nothing like, crazy top tier, but in most cases, if there's a scrub team, it's gone, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
And then after losing to Gas, I mean, with Gas there, I ended up losing weirdly. My Profundity couldn't beat the Executor, so ended up with 2 losses, and then against that full clear. So, I mean, we increased 2 years in this one, so 1998 to 2056. So, God. I mean, maybe they're just strategies were just in the future, and mine was in the past.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah. That was luckily enough still in Kyber 2. I didn't get booted yet. I got probably another couple losses before I'm there. So now you are in the big league. So tell me about your big league experience.
Yeah. Well, at first I want to say, like, 1998, like, don't beat yourself up about any of those losses, because you had to get 2056.
Yeah.
Like, that's, if you did everything perfectly, you wouldn't get that. You got to, like, underman a lot of fights. No reinforcements on fleets, That's, whew. All right. Yes. So let me delete the 2 in our document and put a 1 in there. I am Kyber 1, baby. I move up to Kyber 1 at the end of last round, and today I did my first fight in Kyber 1. Sorry. So that'll kind of spoil maybe some of the outcomes here. Round 1, I go up against Dean Moriarty, and I mean, it's a pretty routine thing until I start just falling apart. My Leia timed out against Rey. My Jedi Master Luke, I tried that against Bo because it can work. It doesn't often work. It certainly just didn't work that time. Profundity versus Executor, which is the thorn in my side that I mess that up so often. It's a meme on Twitch. Like, when I see an Executor, I'm like, oh God, here we go. And I'm learning. I was doing some things wrong before everybody emails me. I'm learning. And then I also lost with Gas versus General Grievous.
Wow.
But it's like the lowercase Gas, with Echo and Arc. So that was disheartening. So I feel like terrible. I only put up 1134. But my opponent attacks my Rey with Jedi Master Luke. Fails. So they try with Seer. Fail.
Mm-hmm.
CLS? Why not? Fail. Sith Eternal Emperor? Why not? Fail. And I won.
There you go.
They put up 63 points and quit.
I mean, Ray needs the assist on that one.
Oh, man. That was, player of the game, Ray. Round 2, I go up against Jeddu. This was a little cleaner. My Seer and Malicos and company failed against Ray. I cleaned it up with Leia, maybe. I don't remember who I used to clean up. And my Wampa failed against Iden. It wasn't a Scout Trooper Iden. Like, I know, Scout Trooper Iden you can't attack with Wampa.
Yeah.
But this other one, I was like, oh, this is easy peasy. I love this. And then pew, 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 Wampa dead. Huh?
Yeah.
What? On defense, my Dr. Aphra got one hold against Lando Calrissian. I was not expecting that, but it was a Lando with Han and Chewie, and I think they were most likely trying to take out Aphra so they could two-shot it.
Mm-hmm.
But they beat my Rey with Leia, and then they did this, whatever it was, attack, and that's all they did. So 66 points to my 2006. So first round, they scored 63 on me. Second round, they scored 66 on me. This last round's got to be a real banger, right? All right, so I'm up against Jonza. And, I'm using my counters. I had a lot of struggles here. Jedi Master Kenobi could not take out Lord Vader. That's always a stinker when that happens.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
CLS, I tried to take out gas, like the lowercase gas, with CLS. Didn't work. My Radis failed to take out their dash. Chimera failed against Leviathan. Executor failed against Negotiator. A lot of things went wrong. So I only put up 1679, which I guess isn't that bad, but it's not a full clear. On defense, I picked up, I don't even know, like 8 holds or something. Lord Vader held against Fennec. Tuskens held against Bounty Hunters. Rey held against Leia. Jabba held against Aphra. Come on. Come on.
I know.
Rey held against Sith Eternal Emperor and Starkiller. Lord Vader held against Jedi Master Luke. It ran out of steam. So 1679 to 660, I win. And altogether, they didn't put up 1,000 points, my 3 opponents.
Yeah.
So I just snuck into Kyber 1 is my takeaway here. I did some whooping. I put up some good scores. Actually, no, I didn't. I put up 1 good score. But yeah, here I am in Kyber 1. I did my first attack today. Not even kidding. It was a dude that I fought last season. Not last season. Last round. Round 1. Ben Yago. Look, if you're listening, Ben Yago, good luck. I put up 2026 on you. So hopefully the only fail I had was my lowercase gas. I tried it against Malgus. It was a little dicey and it didn't work, but I cleaned it up with some, I think, Jedi Master Luke. I'll tell you what, you mentioned Dark Trooper Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
And how he's kind of a pain. Malgus takes him right out. So I do just like Malgus with, I do the heavy hitters, Malgus, Malak, and Revan together. And Revan hangs out and does a little bit of damage, but it's really Malgus's second special. Hit him a couple times with that, and he
throws some rocks, and then it's going down.
It's no more. So yeah, so that's it. Now, before we call it all off here, we do have some pretty important stuff to address. Some stuff that's kind of difficult to talk about for guys our age. But who are you grinding?
Well, I'll tell all of you. Yeah, it's been
clean.
I know, right? It's been a pretty fun week. So for my bow, we're all kind of stopping except for Kelleran at this point. Not really going any type of gear levels higher, but we got IG-12 done. So he's sitting there ready to go to gear 12, but we're not giving it to him because it's Leia time here. So now for Kelleran, we did go from 0 out of 100 up to 28 out of 100. Inching closer to get to that point. Now, Leia, I checked a lot off from the board this week, so I'm pretty happy about that. Scout Trooper, we did a whopping Relic 1 to Relic 2 upgrade. But
she's ready.
It's an upgrade. And then we have a Kinesa from Relic 1 to Relic 2.
There we go.
Now, the nice part is Commander Luke was Relic 6. Now he's Relic 7. Done. So then Chirpa, he was Relic 1, got him to Relic 3, done. Wicket from Relic 1 to Relic 3, done. Then Lobot from Gear 11 to Relic 3, done. So what I have left, I have Backpack Chewie, he's Relic 5, needs to get to Relic 7. R2 is probably, I'm thinking there's a chance maybe tomorrow to get to Relic 8. Signal data is no fun for that last tier. And then Kinesin in Trooper. So that means I am officially in Leia mode. That means hoarding materials, getting ready to automatically get her the first day up to hopefully Relic 7 or 8. So that means it's not going to be, I'm going to have basically showing that I did nothing next week. But wait, I lied. I have a new ship that's been attached here because it's the only one left in fleet currency. So
I know. Yep, I've been there.
The BLT, that's not the one I'm talking about, but it is the one I'm talking about now. Went from 62 out of 85 up to a whopping 72 out of 85. 10 in a week is like paper cutting someone to death. I mean
that's ships. That's grinded ships. That's what it's like.
I mean,
painful.
It's bad, but I'm morbid for a second. I'm like, how many paper cuts would that take? But do not tell us if you do know.
Yeah.
We don't want that in the comments, please. So yes, the wonderful, great ship of all time that I'm working on because it's the only one left in fleet is the Raven's Claw. So went from 12 out of 65 up to 21 out of 65 because why not?
Sure.
So I am hoarding Zetas. I am holding on to all Omicrons, and I did one refresh for Datacrons this week, trying to get Jedi Knight Cals instead of Mace Windows. And guess what I got? Mace Windu again. So
that's lovely. Thank you.
Yeah. I know. We only had to lose a territory battle to be able to do it too. So so that was even better. So that does mean, though, for when it comes to mods, I am putting a pause on Baines at this point. He's already wonderful.
Yeah.
I feel like anything that, I mean, I do have some gold to get up to gold still, but I don't think it's going to matter much. I think until this Datacron's done, I could probably leave it as is. Yeah, right. So that means right now I'm working on Leia's mods, which I love because Lobot is going to be my surrogate mod family, I guess.
Your mod surrogate.
My mod surrogate. So, yes, though I am working on that because with him being Relic 3, we can do all of it. So working on speed and health right now, it is very wimpy. I'll tell you what, that's mod shortage for me is real, and good mod shortage is even more real. But so I'm working on those two. I want her to be, I'm probably not going to put her on defense, to be honest. It's going to be an offense. So,
she's great at both. I mean,
so I'm thinking I'm going to more focus towards that and really go high offense and as much health as possible, obviously. So it's going to be fun. So yes, I give you guys all my medical back history for this last week and what was grinding and what was popping a little bit, maybe too, right?
Little pop, little grind. Yep.
So I got to know who you grinding.
Man, the same old stuff. But, well, no, not the same old stuff. I got some new... Not much. My Bo-Katan stuff. IG-12 and Grogu went from 41 up to 63 out of 100. Color back from 82 out of 85 up to 13 out of 100. So I'm in the home stretch.
Yep.
I keep telling myself that. Someday I'll believe it. My Cal stuff, though, that's looking pretty good. Tarful went from 55 up to 80 out of 100, and that's it. That's the only one I have to finish. I did take Seer from Relic 6 up to 7, and Malicos from Relic 5 up to 7.
I'm a little jelly on that one.
It was on the back burner. I may take him to 8 too, honestly, because it was on the back burner for me for a long time, and I thought, this is like the go-to counter for Rey now, and Rey is a pain.
Mm-hmm.
So I think most likely I'm gonna take him up to 8. But I mean, I noticed a difference going from 5 to 7. Like my first time trying the counter, I kind of failed. But now this round with him at Relic 7, it was like a hot knife through butter, just wrecked her. So I'm going to probably do that. I might take Starkiller up to 8 as well.
I know. I'm
less important on that team, but he still does some pretty good work. And I just, we like us that character.
Mm-hmm.
So, other silly things that I did. Dathcha went from Gear 12 up to Relic 3. all of my Jawas are now relicked. Look out.
There you go.
The thing is, if they do a Galactic challenge for Jawas, it's still like going to be impossible, I'm sure.
Yeah, right.
Whatever. So, Gar and Imperial Super Commando are both in my favorites. Gar is really just I think like 4 or 5 salvage of one piece away from being Gear 13. And then Super Commando is chilling there. But Stap being Cantina, I'm probably just going to grind that, you know? I mean, I like to get on these Cantina grinds so I don't end up in a spot where I have to do it when I'm trying to relic somebody. I don't have any crucial relics right now. IG-12 and Grogu are at 63 out of 100. I've got some time, you know. I got to take them to 7, but I've got time. So I'm going to work on that stab. For Zetas, I put a second one on Keller and Beck, I believe, this week. So he's got both of his now. I think that was the only one I did. I don't know. It feels like I'm forgetting something. Not super important. Omicrons, I'm close to having one, but I'm probably going to wait and see when Jedi Cal comes back again. I mean, it's probably going to be a while, but you know, I don't have any that I'm like holding my breath on. I've got the ones that I really, really want right now. So, and then on the Datacron front, I re-rolled after losing a territory war. Re-rolled and got me a Sidious Cron. I turned that Dooku into Sidious. So I wish I had more. I would have re-rolled one of my Holdos too. Honestly, I don't even want the Rey. Right? I have 2 Holdos. I don't even want the Rey one.
Oh, why?
Because I'm using Holdo with Rey.
Oh, so that's
it's
a good
like
one too.
Overkill. And I would re-roll one of those, and if I could get a Finn, I'd be happy. That's all we got for you this week. It may not be the best advice, but at least we didn't recommend that new Omicron. I'll tell you what. If you want to continue the conversation, join our Discord server. It's linked in the show description. Become a real live Jawa by supporting us on Patreon, like Pabuapa does. And share your thoughts by leaving us a podcast review. Big thanks also go out to swgoh.gg and swgohevents.com for providing all the hard data we misinterpret weekly. Thanks for tuning in, and may the Force and RNG be with you.